So now let's go on to the flip side of your pink handout, and this is about failure. So now we're moving on to liberating assumption number 8. The only failure is not learning from an experience. Now, the reason I put this one in there is that when you do something that you've never done before, it can be a little scary because you can feel like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm stepping into the unknown. This could blow up in my face, right? And so sometimes we keep doing what we know how to do because we feel too timid or too intimidated to do the thing we don't know how to do yet. Are you following me? And I put this one in here because I want you to have permission to do what you've never done before. And I want you to know how important that is. So can you remember, I know you can't, but just in your mind, picture this. When you were a little kid, how did you learn how to talk? Do you remember the first thing you ever said? No, none of you do. But, you know, when you first said it, do you remember people laughing at you because you said it kind of funny and it wasn't quite right? You know, but they sort of got the general idea of what you were trying to say. And then at that point in your life, did you say, see, I knew I couldn't do it, I quit? No, you didn't. You just said, I'll get it. And how many hundreds and thousands of times do you think you had to make mistakes before you could learn to talk? And then can you remember when you couldn't walk? Do you remember learning to walk? Now, none of us do. But having watched lots of little buggers, don't you know that they didn't do it very good on their first, second, third, fourth, fifth try? No, it took like hundreds, thousands of tries before. And then if they wanted to go from walk to run, it was even more. And did they stop? You know, as soon as they hit the first failure, did they go, see, I told you I couldn't do this, I quit? Little kids don't do that. Now, where did they learn that failure was a bad thing? Because they weren't born with it. Oh, yeah, they made that big mistake. They watched the big people, didn't they? So do you think failure is a bad thing? Now, in your life today, let me just ask you this question. This is part of the sad story of Don Boffman's life. How many things do you think you could presently know how to do that you don't know how to do? And the reason you don't know how to do it is that you chose not to try because you were afraid of failure or you were afraid other people could do it better than you. Run through your life story and think about that. And isn't that sad? You see, because I'm saying to make your relationships better, you got to be willing to do something different, and that's stepping into the unknown, and sometimes you will fail. And that's not, it doesn't matter. The success is not whether it worked or not. The success is that you chose to do something different, right? So let's look at this mistakes thing a little bit more in detail. Mistakes just lead to what needs to be done next. Mistakes give you the necessary information for the needed correction. Let me give you an example. I'm going to train you in archery. Now, if there's any archers here, please just humor me because I don't know anything about archery. All right, but I'm pretending I do. All right, so we got a big bullseye set up in the back of the room, and the goal is that I want to train you so that you're so good that you can hit the bullseye. All right, so I teach you how to hold the bow and how to pull it back and put the arrow in, and then take a deep breath, and as you're letting your breath out, then to let go of the arrow, right? Okay, so you got the technique down. You stand up, you get ready, you take your first shot. You miss the whole target to the left. So at that point, do you say, see, I told you I'm not coordinated. I don't have good eye-hand coordination. I've never been good at this kind of stuff. I don't want to do it anymore. I quit. Do you do that? Or do you say, interesting, I missed the whole target to the left. Now that's good information. I can use that for the needed correction. Now you stand up, you do the next one. Oh, damn. Missed the whole target to the right this time. Okay, now do you say, see, I tried it twice, I missed both times, I didn't even hit the stupid target anywhere, I quit, I can't do this. Or do you say, interesting, I missed the whole target to the right. Now that's good information. I could use that for the needed correction. And the Zen Buddhist saying about this is, the arrow that hits the bullseye is the result of the 100 previous misses. If you're not willing to have 100 misses, you will never hit the bullseye. And what if you start thinking like this? Then you'd be going out every day looking for another chance to have another miss. right? Because in Hollywood, when you make a mistake, they just call it a mistake. And what do? They do another take, right? So what if you did that in your relationships? Because nothing works all the time. The goal is all about trying to develop more possibility. So if you're not failing in your life, you're not growing. We use a book in the Leadership Academy called Play to Win, written by Larry Wilson, who actually recently just passed away. But in his book, he has a section on mistakes. And he says in really creative organizations, everybody has absolute permission to make mistakes. And in fact, what he asked every employee to do is risk fast. That means you're going to do something you've never done before. You're going to step into the unknown. Risk fast, fail fast, because the first time you do anything, you're probably not going to do it perfect, right? Risk fast, fail fast, learn fast, let the failure give you the information you need for the needed correction, and then share fast. Now think about that. So what if you did that with teams here at KRM, right? Risk fast, fail fast, learn fast, and share fast. What if you guys learned how to talk openly and honestly with each other about what wasn't working in the relationships between teams or departments or individuals or whatever? Can you see how you could use every problem, every misunderstanding, every communication breakdown, you could use it as an opportunity for growth instead of a way of beating up on each other? So that's the only failure, is not learning from an experience. So I'm inviting you, if you want to become a more powerful person, to try to schedule in a risk or two every day where you do something you've never done.